I am born to achieve greatness, and so are you. On this week's episode of the Born to Achieve Greatness podcast will be a continuation of the informative and lively conversation with Dr. Darlene Williams.
Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Welcome to Born to Achieve podcast, the show that inspires and motivates you to unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. With your host, Warren Andrew Pinder. Let's get started on this week's episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
I'm a project manager. I manage quite a few persons. We're building a pretty large project right now. And, I speak to my employees and subs to let them know a lot of times they watch time and they watch, they scale exactly what they want to do to try and stretch out and to try and slow down for their benefit. But they don't understand that literally they're not achieving their goals and purpose because they don't know where by being efficient, by being the best at what they do, right? They don't know where it's going to take them. And a lot of persons in jobs, they would look at others and simply say, I'm not going all the way. Why are you doing that? You don't get paid for that. But that's stagnating your purpose. They regardless of what you do, if you find love and joy in whatever it is you're doing, obviously, it's not work. That's what we say. It's not work. But when we begin to question what it is that is work and how much work we should do, or, our compensation for work, it's about finding your true, authentic self, bringing out your best. And then others will look at you and maybe give you the compensation. You will find the joy. Maybe you begin to find out that, this is what I want. I want to work for myself.
Right.
And that I'm just giving an example that leads one to their true purpose, their authentic purpose, not really staying in the status quo, as we would say.
I used to work with gang male youth in California, and I would say the same thing every day. And they would say, Mom, why do you keep saying that? And it went something like serving others with purpose. Your purpose is one of the most fulfilling and greatest gifts you could ever do. My father would tell me, when you work your purpose, you don't worry about money. Time slips away. You're so enlivened with love and joy for what you're doing that nothing else around you matters. You could do it for 8 hours. You could do it for 16 hours. You could do it for 24 hours and you don't feel tired. You don't feel tired. You don't feel stressed. You don't worry about money. Half the time, you don't even worry about going home because you're trying to think of other ways to make this better.
Exactly.
For someone else, deeper for someone else. I said, when you look in the mirror, I recognize that when other people look at you, they go, oh, this person was a gang member, so they're bad. That's not true. They got there because of circumstances. Okay, anybody can be better, but you got to reflect on, this is my past. It doesn't make my present the same thing. And my future is ahead of me, waiting for me. What do I want it to be? And the question is always, where are you now? And where do you want to be? That's how I help people identify their core purpose. Where are you now? And let's do the whole conversation. I'm not going to rush you through it. Now, where do you want to be? How do you see yourself getting there? How can you use the gifts and talents to benefit others? Those unique things that are just you. That's your purpose. Cultivating that, using that to show you the inner power that God already gave you. You don't have to find it. It's already there.
Dr. Pratt.
On this earth. We're not of this earth.
It's not. Is so true. I really grappled recently in a conversation with a few young men who literally expressed to me the fact that, gang related, they have been there, they're trying to get out, and they're struggling, really struggling because they don't know, they don't have the support. They feel as if that, because I have an ankle bracelet on, I'm being monitored. No one wants to hire me because I have a record. I can't get a job. It's all of this stuff. And you know what? They end up right back with those who support their activities, that illicit activity, right? And they feel like, a lot of them is afraid because lifespan may be short,
Yeah.
but
It's the choices you make.
it's in trying to get them to understand that there's a purpose for your life, not to be fearful, not to live your life having to dodge and duck and go steal just to survive. But it's when you begin to see, because and if any young person's like really listening, it's when you begin to understand that it's something greater, going back to the gift given to you,
Yes.
that there's a purpose for your life. And we tell them that, but they're not understanding, going out and seeking that purpose.
It's not that they don't understand. I found that the young men that I work with, it wasn't about them not understanding. It was the imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough because they are. No, that just because they have a gun and they're threatening you, that doesn't make them better. It
Right.
makes them a bully. And if you allow yourself to, that's how I have to be in order to get through this world, you're not looking at the real world. You're looking at the world that someone else created for you. And
You're living in a false world.
in a false world.
You're living in a false world.
And I asked him, I said, if you could all be everything being equal, you could create the world you want to live in. And I made all 12 of these boys sit down with a pen and a pad, write it down. I said, make it so plain to me that if I were in kindergarten, I could understand exactly what you wanted. And this young man, Andrew, he says, he writes, and it was 12 pages long. I didn't expect that. And I started reading, and he wanted to be an artist, and he wanted to be an animator, and he wanted to work with Steven Spielberg. And I was like, okay, okay, all right, let's take this first one. How do we want to get there? I said, because right now you're in this group home with me, but how do you want to get there? The first thing I said, if you come out of your face and say, he'll never take me, nobody will hire me because XYZ, we're going to stop this conversation. I need you to say what you really want to say, and you're not afraid. I said, I'm here with 12 boys who have been in different gangs, and I have no backup. I said, do you see any fear? No, Mom. I said, you're my sons. So talk to your mom. Well, Mommy, see, I want to do this. I said, so how are we going to get there, baby? How are we, not just you, how are we going to get there? Well, I was on the internet and I said, you saw this program, right? Yeah. I said, okay, let's apply for the program. Really? Yeah. But no. What I say, there's no buts. I said, when you guys read the Bible, where in the Bible do you see God say, nah, I gotta think about it. I'll be back at you a little bit. Oh, hold up. Stay there until I get back. Do you see that anywhere? No. I said, so why are you doing that? He doesn't hesitate. Why are you hesitating? I said, I keep telling you, faith is what you don't see, not what you do, because what you do see can mislead you. Now, what you saw was you got in this gang, this guy had you on the corner, you're selling these drugs, you got caught, and he's still out doing what he does. You saw easy money. I said, let me tell you what that equates to. Slavery. It equates to slavery. I said, so you are enslaved by your own people, and you're okay with that. I said, not only that, you're threatened that if you don't do what your slave master tells you, you'll die.
Exactly.
And you get no money.
Exactly what I'm
And
talking about.
you still living in the ghetto. And he lives in this really nice mansion, which you cannot visit.
You're protecting him.
I said, so here's the thing. God has a whole thing. He said, come unto me. So he's telling you, come to my house. We can hang out together. No, I'm not going to threaten you. I said, now let me go back to where we started. Is this what you want to do? Yes. Give me a week. We're going to do this. I came back. We sat down. We filled out the full cell application. He got into that school. He left California. He went to sunny Florida. That young man is now an animator.
Wow.
And when I check out some of his stuff online, because he doesn't know I'm still stalking him as an old mommy, I'm like, he's doing great. But I did leave him a note. I said, when you put on your wings, you really can fly. Don't let everyone else tell you can't. It's what you believe, not what they created for you.
Dr. Fry, that's such a prolific story. I don't know why, when you call Andrew, right? I'm Warren Andrew, Andrew Stillard, right? And, my early childhood years, a lot of persons would say I was just mischievous. My best friend would say I was a magnet to trouble. But we always found our way. We always found, and that is a part of it. That is a part of it. I don't know if, you may want me and your child, Andrew, because you're gonna be, we were creative. It was just being creative,
Yeah.
in doing whatever, but knowing that deep down inside, our consciousness kept us from going off the edge. At least that me as Andrew just kept it from good. So we listened to the voice of reason. We listen wanting to really. So I can tell you, for me, I think I began to shake myself. So many things that I would have done that I just knew that I was going against the grain. The first time, on the blocks in my neighborhood, I worked as a packing boy in a grocery store, and the little money, it must have been but $15 or whatever, and the guy's like trying to encourage me to go teach me to gamble, and I got in the dice game with the guys, and it just so happened that was the very night my mom and dad was going to the movies, and they stopped right on the game under the light, and it's like, "What are y'all doing with my child in there?" And these are older guys, and they respect my parents, and they're like, they kick, wait, go home. They kicked me there, we go home. So it's always something leading me away from it, and I kept going at it, but until I understood exactly, the lessons, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we spoke of earlier. That you may understand that you get yourself into some type of trouble, but learn there's a lesson that the universe is speaking to you. So that is so true.
I say to people all the time, sometimes they say, why do I have to keep repeating this? I said, did you get the lesson the first time? Huh? Yeah, you say, huh, that means no.
Oh man,
You said, huh, that means no. And they're like, oh, wait. I'm like, okay, come on. So what did you learn in this situation? And you get the silence, because they don't get this. And I say this not to be funny, but this is the test of a God forecast system. This is
Yeah.
only a test. But can you pass the test? Nobody on this planet is ever going to be perfect. And God didn't ask you to be.
Yeah.
But he says, listen and obey.
Yes.
The obey part is the hard part.
It's the hard part to stick up. We don't articulate up.
Things to get into. But let's be real. For me, I never thought, okay, I've had uterine and breast and brain cancer. I've had brain surgery. I've been flipped over in a car 3 times. And in my mind, I was like, okay, this going it's going to end one way or the other because I've been through all this stuff. And yet I'm still here.
That's right. Praise God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told Lisa, I started out at 7 years old being a paper girl, just storing papers from my bicycle.
I'm telling you.
And then I moved up to, I work at McDonald's, I work at Burger King, I work at Blimpie, I work at Pizza Hut. Then I got hired by Manpower. I worked for a construction company doing all their books and all their hiring at 14 years old when they could do that, when they could pull that off.
Yeah.
I was still a mediator. And I didn't realize until later, I was like, I've always been a mediator. They would send me from the junior high school to help the little kids tutor in their classes and to keep them from arguing. Mediator. High school to junior high school, mediating. In the church, mediating. On the playground, I'm like, wait a minute. Why do I have to keep jumping in other people's situations? Because that's what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
Fix it.
He's using you. He's using all the right.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm tired of dealing with these little kids. If they don't know how to do their math, that's not my problem. But yes, it is. Because then I became an elementary school teacher, and it was still my problem. I taught in university, and it was still my problem.
Wow.
And it wasn't the problem. It was the challenge of, can you help them get through this? So when I do this for the federal government, it's like sitting around, I was like, look, can I get a cup of tea and I could be here. And that's the key thing when you're talking about mediation. It's the idea that you get both people to hear each other's perspectives. Keyword is hear. Hear. You're hearing it not just to hear it, to shut them down and say they're wrong, but to understand their perspective in a way that goes, I never thought about it. When I see people do all these tricks, and it's funny, I see people do tricks on their bike, where they can pop on one tire.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, you never catch me doing that because I was breaking all my bones.
I would have tried. I would have
See, you
tried
that
that.
guy. You the guy for
Yeah.
anything, right? I'll try skateboarding on one foot. No, thank you.
Exactly.
But then at the end of the day, I was like, wow, I never thought you could do that. Have a long skateboard that looks like a surfboard, and you're flying down a hill at 40 miles an hour. And then you have a way to control that. See, I'd have never thought of that. But if I hadn't listened, someone said, yeah, this is what I do. I do it in the hills in California. And I'm like, okay. But see, I was the other person. I rode motorcycles, just not the cruiser kind.
Yeah.
I rode what they call quad track because I like going fast.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
see
You clutched it out. Yeah,
got
I got you.
zipping around. I like,
Yeah.
and my parents would say, "You better not go get on that boy's motorcycle." Guy named Bobby, don't get on these motorcycles. So I wouldn't get on his motorcycle in front of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
in front of my
you-
house.
I know.
So,
I know.
but after school, you know what I'm saying?
They got you.
One day, Bobby comes by the house. My dad was at work. My mom was at work, and I'm sitting on the front porch. And he goes, "Hey, you want to take a ride?" And I'm not joking with you. I heard, "Don't you leave this porch." My mom, and my dad were not home. Don't you dare tell him no, thank you, because it's not a good day for you. That's what I can. It's not a good day for you. That day, that young man got hit by an 18-wheeler,
Wow. On it, you would have been on the back of the bike.
and I would have been on the back of that bike.
Oh wow.
See, and my mom worked at the hospital. They brought him into her hospital. So
Wow.
she comes home. She goes, "Baby, I got to tell you about your friend Bobby." And I said, "What about my friend Bobby?" She said, he got hit by an 18-wheeler on his motorbike while he was crossing the bridge. Wow. And I thought, yeah, here I was thinking, I'm going to go take a ride. I'll come back before my parents get home. Got to listen. The lesson was listen. When I lost both of my parents at 16, I did not do the whole crying and go berserk. No, I listened. He said, do this, do this, do this. I did everything I was supposed to do. And I remained calm because they were at peace. They were at peace. My mom passed away from cancer. 6 months later, my dad passed away from a heart attack. And none of that brought me to a place of, I'm going to lose it. No, I'm going to blame God. No, it was, everything is okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay. You're not in this by yourself. Watch what I tell you. And I said, okay, everybody in my neighborhood, they made sure I was fed food. They made sure the house was taken care of. They made sure I had clean clothes. I was a teenager, but I was a grown up. And the people would come across the street. Did you eat today? No, ma'am. Okay, I fixed food. Come on. Did you wash clothes today? Well, I didn't have a chance. Okay, go get your clothes so we can wash your clothes. I was never by myself. I was never alone. People said, oh, it takes a village to raise a child. I was raised in that kind of environment where my neighbors literally took care of me. I had no day where I could say I was all by myself and nobody cared. That would be a lie. My gift of listening to understand, my gift of giving, and my mother's gift of always giving, my dad's gift of always giving was returned to me 100-fold
On times.
because they took care of other people. Those same people took care of me.
It's amazing you would say that. I had an experience, and I wrote my book. Persons would always walk up to me and, could you help me? Is it something that you can help me with, you can give or whatever? And one day I literally walked out of the bank and the young man was talking to someone and a young man walked up to us. And I thought he was waiting. I didn't know him. So I thought he was actually waiting to speak with the gentleman that I was speaking to. But he, after 5 minutes, said, "So can I ask you something? Do you have $35 that you can help me with? I need to go and do something." And I was like, okay. And I reached in my pocket, and for whatever reason, I pulled out exactly $35. And I gave that to him. I jumped in my truck and I pulled off. And I said, let me follow him and see what he's going to do with this. He's asking this 30, because he was saying something, he needed to buy a ticket to go home. He was in Nassau being the capital. He was in Nassau. He needed to get a ticket to get back to Andres because he was there looking for a job. And so he sounded as if it checked out. And I honestly said, I'm going to follow him. And you talk about listening. A voice before traffic was coming and I couldn't get out to follow him. And a voice simply said to me, don't worry about that.
Nope.
Don't worry. The voice just said, just go where you're going. And I was going to purchase some car parts. And I went right around the corner. It's not too far from where the bank was, to a car parts store. And I went, and as I ordered the service parts for my truck, the lady that was serving me went in the back to pick the parts and bring them out. Another lady who was at a wicket, like 2 wickets down, walked over to me and she said, "You will be blessed beyond measure." Because I had asked God to show me a sign. When I stood there and I was looking, I said, "God, show me a sign that, these people don't just walk up to me. These persons don't just walk up and ask me for a question. I'm tired. They everywhere, like they see as if I have a money tree or something. I'm just trying to make it, and I can't be giving my money away like that." They were like, "God, just show me a sign." And it took me 5 minutes to get to that auto parts store. Within 15 minutes, I got a sign. This lady walked up to me and she said, "You are blessed beyond measure." I'll tell you, Dr. Pratt, I stood there and the tears coming down my eyes, right? And the lady, when she came back with the patch, she said, "Sir, you okay?" And I had to shake myself out of the trance. And that's when I began to realize that, I'm going to live up my purpose that God has for me. Because sometimes someone might ask, and I'm not saying give everything that you have, but you try and help wherever you can. Because you don't know when you're acting as an angel, when God put you there in a capacity to help that person that He wants you to do so. And that's a true story.
Look, I know. It's it's interesting when I hear people say what you're saying. There was a young man. He's on TikTok, and he's about to lose his job, and he's talking, and other people are like, "Oh no, I guess you're just trying to get people to give you money." And for a minute, I was like, "Maybe he is." I said, "But if he's doing something wrong with it, God'll fix it, right?" So I said, "Send me your cash app, please." And I think he thought, "Oh, this lady's not real." I said, "No, send me your cash app." And I cash apped him some money. And he goes, "You're real?" I said, "Yeah, I am." I said, "I understand what it means to sleep in your car. I've done that. I understand what it means that you have to eat a Happy Meal every day because you barely make enough money. I've done that. I understand what it means to be on welfare. Done that. I understand when you lose your home and you have to sleep in a hotel and it's not the greatest of neighborhoods. I've done that." I said, "So what you're going through right now, praise God." I said, "Because He is about to elevate you. He doesn't lower you. He's going to elevate you." I said, "I need you to think about something really strong." I said, "Nobody believed in David. However, David was the little kid with a slingshot and a smooth stone." I said, "And he put out an edict really quickly." He said, "Goliath, not only am I going to take your life, I'm going to take your head with your sword."
Mhm.
I said, and then everybody respected him. I said, "But here's what you don't know. He was not perfect because in another part of his life, he was after someone else's wife. And he sent that man out to be killed."
That's right.
I said, "So I need you to understand, you don't have to be perfect. Just gotta have faith." I said, "And your faith don't have to be the biggest tree in the world. It can be as small as a mustard seed. But you've got to believe in what you don't see so that it manifests right in front of your face." I said,
That's
"But
right. All the time.
you ain't gonna be there forever."
Hmm.
I said, "But the job you got it, work it like you're working it for Jesus."
That's
Keep
right.
it hand. I said, If you were standing in front of Jesus and Jesus said, 'Shine shoes,' I need you to shine shoes so bright that heaven sees the shine."
Someone can recognize you. Someone will recognize
Said,
you. That's if that's your legacy. If that's your legacy, make it your legacy.
My father said, "If you're gonna be a garbage man, be the best garbage man on
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
everybody
Someone will
around
recognize you.
us."
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
best one. I was actually just talking to my husband. He said he's from Brooklyn. He said the old gangsters took care of the neighborhood. They didn't tear the neighborhood down.
Yeah. Yeah.
The new gangsters don't care who they hurt. He said, "Yeah, they sold their drugs to particular people not in their neighborhood. And then they would give to the church. They would give to the old people. They would buy kids shoes. They would help the school." That's the old gangsters.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. The old gangsters had empathy because they recognized this is where I come from, but everybody don't have to stay here. Everybody don't have to stay here.
You've used the word empathy in many ways, and that it with examples of purpose, and it's so important
It is.
having the empathy that you care for those around you, those that support you. More importantly,
Yeah, it's not just what you give here, it's what you give here.
that's right. The heart.
So that you can hear what's coming from them without
Yeah.
them opening their mouth.
Yeah.
When you can look at a man, when you can look at a woman, when you can look at a child, and the energy that's coming off of them is saying to you, help me, please.
Yeah.
And you automatically know what they need.
And that comes in a lot of ways. You may not understand it. It comes in so many ways. A person
Yes.
cry out to you for help, and you don't even know. You don't know, because a lot of us don't know what a lot of us are going through.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of us are keeping that so secret. You got people right now that they're getting abused, but they, the whole scenario, the facade when they go out the house,
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah.
Or you got people who are sick with cancer. And the example I give you that Chadwick Boseman, that man shot a whole movie. Nobody knew that man was
Exactly.
ill. He was terminal, and still he had the audacity of God to stand on a platform, speak in front of students when they were graduating and tell them how to move forward.
That's right. Those are the heroes. That's right.
Yes.
Those are the heroes.
People who can walk by faith. And sometimes faith is hard to walk by when you don't have a whole lot of options. But you still, if you just keep saying, Jesus,
That's right, Jesus.
show up.
Yep.
Show up.
Always and on time.
Yeah, always. He's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to hold on to the fact that he never lies.
Yeah.
He doesn't jade the truth. He doesn't string you along. He tells you exactly what it is. This is what I'm going to do. But this is what you got to do.
Man, Dr. Brown, this has been so great and informative. I mean, it brings tears. It softens my heart to know that this conversation on this episode of this podcast will touch many persons. I can tell you what you have expressed and shared will go beyond. It would go beyond. And there are some persons that I try to if you notice, I was just trying to just keep driving the questions to you that I know the persons need to hear, because you brought it so real. I could hear the empathy that you were sharing to this, and it was as if a prayer to that persons would know that there is hope. I constantly say, we need to push hope in our communities, in our families. We have to build up one another, and it's in when we realize that we may find out that it's our purpose. And before you go, I want you to just say it, to tell our listening audience the importance of finding your individual, or you having writing a purpose down. Like I was taught, that my purpose is to help and teach others to identify and communicate their purpose,
right,
and to build godly character. That is what I read. Warren Andrew Pinder read every morning, and I go out and I live that. So I'm advocating that persons find their purpose, write it down, believe it, and just be still, and live it.
I think that last part is hard for people, that being still part. But if I have to leave the audience with something that I really, really, and I'll say it really, really again, pay attention to. Finding your purpose can be a deeply personal, spiritual journey, and it's different for everybody. But there are keys and thoughts that I want to leave with everybody. First, reflect, self-reflect, go inside, do that work. Think about your passion, assess what your values and your principles and your beliefs are. Do not build them on what someone else says or does. You recognize your strengths. Explore what excites you. I'm going to keep saying the word you, all capital letters, and pursue your experiences with vigor. I mean, like, go after it as if you were going after $10 billion. Stay curious, stay focused, and be what you need to be. Also, consider the impact of everything that you do on everybody around you. Because whether you know it or not, there are people paying attention that you may not think they are. But pay attention to the moves that you make and the injustices it may cause if you make the wrong one. And finally, look at your life story. Look at your experiences, look at your challenges, look at your successes, look at your wins, look at your failures, look at what you've learned, and then understand that you can be better. Set long-term and short-term goals each and every month. Don't sit down and wait for, oh, I'll do it later. No, each and every month at the beginning of the month, pull out a notebook and set long and short-term goals for that entire month. Envision what your legacy is going to be when you leave this planet. And remember, it's about your purpose, your vision, and the bigger impact, not just the impact on the people that you know, but the people that you don't know. Finally, align yourself spiritually. Stay in the right presence of the Most Holy One. Stay there, whether it is meditation or prayer or mindfulness, practice every single day. It's 24 hours in a day. Cut out 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Cut it out and do just nothing but that. Write it down, make it plain, but focus on that. Focus on something bigger than yourself, and the sights that are inside you, let them out. Trust your intuition. You are not talking to yourself. There is someone higher than you.
Yeah.
Practice patience. Look for support, for proper support, and feedback from those who are bigger and better counsel, who have been there, who have done that, who have lived in a life where they've had so much experience that they can teach you some things and add to your repertoire of knowledge. And experience takes action. So don't just sit around, move, be impactful, and create a legacy that lives on long after you're gone.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Frasby, I can't thank you enough. This has been great. Another episode of the Born to Achieve Greatness podcast. We look forward to bringing more entertaining and informative persons to you like Dr. Price to help you to become motivated, to live your life, to find your true purpose.
Know that you're born.
Know that you're born.
Greatness.
Know that you're born to achieve.
Greatness. Absolutely.
Greatness. That's right. Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. It has been my honor, my pleasure to be here. I've learned, you've taught, and I'm appreciative.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and motivating. Born to Achieve. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Stay focused on your goals, and we'll see you on the next episode of Born to Achieve.
Take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Sign up today and claim your free ebook at www.borntoachievegreatness.com. Follow us on Facebook at Achieve Movement Inc. Get your copy of Exploring Achieveland, A Journey to Realize Your Dreams, Motivational Stories of Kindness, Inspiring Stories for Kids on Amazon and Kindle.